Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with jazz vocalist Rebekah Victoria. We asked her about her latest 2019 CD called Songs of the Decades and her focus on the era of the Great American Songbook of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. She grew up in a family-owned nightclub in Los Altos, California, singing with her father's Greek band. She would go on to get her college degree in business and become a real estate broker, but she also took formal singing lessons and theater classes and always had singing in her heart. She talked about her life in music and so much more, so please get to know her and dig this interview, my friends.
Okay, Rebekah, thanks for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with your latest 2019 CD, Songs of the Decades, and give me an idea of what went into this project.
I'm collaborating with Wayne Wallace, who's a wonderful composer, arranger, and we did one tune from each decade of the 20th century and kind of redo the song and make it more fresh and different with his, Latin influences and song more jazz. So it's been really fun to, go through probably 1,000 tunes. I think I researched in order to come up with, one nugget from each 10 years and, make it into something, fresh, something fun. So it's just been a great journey. And then also having all these wonderful musicians. These guys are just stellar. That's been just a great experience as well.
You grew up in a family-owned nightclub in Los Altos, California. You were singing in your father's Greek band. Give me an idea of your childhood and just with this tapestry here, how was it?
Well, it was a very interesting upbringing. My dad was a professional dancer, singer, and he was on Broadway in the late 60s. And so, of course, we in the family, all my siblings and myself, we grew up dancing and singing, and my mom was very instrumental in encouraging all of us to do that. So that's how it started. And then, I just sort of had the performing bug, decided to pursue that. And I've been singing, my whole life. And, for me, it's kind of like breathing. I have to do it. It's just, one of those things that just, makes my life. And then also my influences, growing up were, I listened to everything from classical, Broadway, big band. What I really loved so much, I kept coming back to was, of course, the big band swing era. I love that. And jazz, which, is just definitely my favorite, but I have, done the others as well.
So you also have another side to you. You got a business degree in college, and you were a real estate broker. So how do both of these worlds work for you?
Well, it was challenging. I've always, been singing, trying to do jobs on the side. I also raised my daughter, and so, of course, that was my main focus. And she's grown, and I have a grandson now. It was one of those things where I did the business side, to pay the bills, but, so I started a band called Jazz Quest in 2002, and we've been performing ever since all around the Bay Area.
So what do you like best about being a performer?
Well, I think just, being able to connect with the audience and, just sort of see what people's reactions are to my songs. I just get such a joy out of seeing their emotions. And I think that's what really is exciting about it for me. And also collaborating with the musicians on stage. That's also just so much fun.
What was one of the first live jazz shows you saw that really blew your doors down?
Oh, gosh. I think hands down Ella Fitzgerald. I've always studied her, and she just was just such a genuine performer on stage and just so exciting to watch because she's just such a great musician, for one thing, and her voice was just perfection. I mean, she was the best. I also was fortunate enough to see Sarah Vaughan just wonderful. I mean, and her voice is just, I mean, would just melt you. It's just a full voice. So there's been so many.
Yeah, absolutely. So why do you love jazz?
As compared to classical or Broadway, it's a lot less rigid. You know, you can take the, you know, composer's sort of map and make it into, you know, whatever you want, you know, and that's what I think is so exciting. And also it's never the same twice. You know, you can take liberties and you know, just do a lot of different things with each song. And that's what I really love about jazz.
Everyone has their version or their perception of who they think you are, your family, your friends, fans, but you know who you are best. Who do you think you are?
Wow, that's a big question. You know, I think that I just am a pretty normal person. You know, a lot of people are really surprised to learn that I am a performer and, you know, I'm into jazz because I guess I'm just a normal person who, you know, just works really hard in life and was a mom and now a grandma, and I love to perform. That's just been my passion, you know, my entire life. And I, you know, like having both sides.
Well, I think I saved the hardest one for last. I think that gives me a great overview of songs of the decades, your career in music. So thank you for taking some time out. Good luck with everything, and maybe we'll see you on a stage here in Kansas City.
Oh, wonderful. I hope so. Thank you so much, Joe. You have a great day.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest singers in California, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Rebekah for her music and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.